Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Catty Crypto here. So, as promised, I've got Vegas on, but on top of that, we've got Raider, who's Matt from Terror Rebels, who's joined the party this evening, so to speak. And we're all here pretty much to just talk about the current events that are unfolding and the situation around validators, V21, and just kind of touch up on everything that's going on right now. So, Matt and Vegas, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's not always easy to get time. People have got families. We've all got things that happen. So it's not always easy to get everybody together. Vegas, can you tell us a little bit about what's transpiring with validators?
Yeah. Hi, Matt. Thank you for having us here. Yeah, the validators, they can breathe a little more, because now it's not just us saying that yeah, this is safe, this is what we think that it should be happening. It's someone else as well saying that the code that Ed and his team did is a good code. Everything is nice. And yeah, it's the validators. They seem absolutely happy with all of this at this moment. So the feeling that I can see from the validators is that everyone is happy with developing that on this couple of days happen. So yeah.
So would you say that we've probably got most of them on side, if not all of them, and they're all pretty aware of what's going on?
That's something that I cannot say exactly that we have 100% of the validators, yeah, that are aware. I hope that all of them are aware. Until now, we did a lot of noise. We create a couple of areas that we speak with them in a safe environment so they can understand what is happening. So I'm pretty sure that the majority of the validators, they know what is happening, and they are fully aware that this is the way that the community wants to go. Yeah, but 100%, I don't know. We can never say that it's 100% or 0%. At this moment, generally talking, we can see that the feeling of the validators is that they want this to happen, and they are a little more released that TFL did just this merge of the code of Ed. So yeah, it's yeah, we can feel that the validators are, in general terms, they are really happy with all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a really, really huge unfolding of events as of getting up this morning and sort of going through the day, watching it unfold. And Vegas, what has led, do you believe, to TFL coming forward and actually doing this merge and having some input? And they had 10 days to respond, didn't they?
I think it's like, I'm not inside of anyone's brain, but I think they know that they have more to win if they help the community that they felt behind. You know, like the community felt abandoned, and helping the vision of the community becoming a reality. It shows as well to the community that TFL didn't abandon them. They just panic. It seems that they panic at the wrong time. That's it. And doing this, yeah, in my opinion, it shows that the TFL didn't really abandon them. I'm not inside of their heads. I think that's what they are thinking. I think they think this is a good thing for the chain. I think what made them do this was the community. Of course, we did our contacts with them and whatever, but it was not the community asking for this as well. It was not themselves understanding that the community really wants this. I don't think we have this amazing day that we are having today, and yeah, of them showing that they are on board, or seems that they are at least following the will of the community. Yeah.
So as far as we've seen today with the merge, Matt, can you tell us a little bit about why there's two repos now, how the two repos have come about, and what it actually means? A lot of people are believing that they're totally different software updates now, and there's kind of this huge misconception. Can you talk a little bit on that?
Yeah, of course, Joe. So obviously Terra Money repo has always been there. That's TFL's repo that has been there from the start. And after the DPEG event, when they created the V2 chain, they essentially created or forked the code and created a classic core repo inside their Terra Money GitHub, and a core. So core is the V2 mainnet, and classic core is the classic mainnet. And then when Terra Rebels started its activities, we cloned. I mean, the term is forked, but I use the term clone so that the community doesn't get confused, because it's got nothing to do with blockchain forks. So we copied the code, we cloned the code into our repo, so we had an exact copy of it. And when you do that procedure in GitHub, it remembers where the code came from. So there's kind of like a linkage between our copy of Classic Core and TFL's copy of Classic Core in the Terra Money repo. And so we then started making our changes in our repo, and we consistently at all stages issued pull requests to TFL, inviting them to review our changes and to incorporate them into their repo. And there's a procedure in GitHub where that can be done automatically through a pull and merge. So they basically pull our changes and merge them into their code base. And because our copy of Classic Core was identical to their copy of Classic Core, they've now essentially taken the changes that we made on top of that base and incorporated them into theirs. And so the release that they have built is identical to the release that we've built, because the two code bases are identical. They are the same. So their V21 and our V21 contain the same changes, and their release is produces the same results as our release. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's pretty much them taking your update, making a copy of it, and then putting it up for all of the validators and pretty much saying it's the same update. It's exactly the same as theirs. You can get it from here or you can get it from there.
It's not quite that. So they didn't take a copy of our update. They took the changes that we made to our code base and applied those same changes to their code base. And then they built a new release from their code base. And because their code base is now identical to our code base, when they built their new release, it's the same as our release. Okay, so they didn't copy our release, but they generated a new one in their repo, which is exactly the same as ours.
Thank you for breaking that down. And this was a question, so I have lots of questions written down, and I sort of try to ask them as if I was a community member. So these people that don't always understand, because this source code, you can put it in front of most people and they're like, oh my God, it's hacks. But yeah, Vegas, thank you so much for your input on that, Radio. It's really helpful. Vegas, what's your outlook on the whole 2 repositories, 2 download options, and just touching up really kind of what Matt's spoken on?
You are really going to ask me this after Ryder speaks, yeah? Is it going to be like trying to do a speech after some absolutely fantastic work,
He has a documentary man's voice, Raider does. It's lovely. I could listen to him all evening just, and here you have a lioness amongst the leaves. But I just like to get it from both perspectives. And
my thing is, the way that I see this is that it shows even more trust to the validators and the community in general. So we see now we have genius working on Terra Rebels. We have everyone knows that Ed is a genius, and we have more working on this. We were very trusted that everything was okay, but now we see someone else that they seem genius as well. TFL, they have of course amazing people working there as well, but more than that, they were working not for 2 or 3 months or even half a year. They are there from the beginning. So for them to check the code and say and give the thumbs up for the code that we develop in a couple of months is absolutely brilliant, and it shows even more trust to the validators and the community that we are doing the right thing. So that's my thoughts on this, mate.
And getting to where we are now from where we was before all of the proposals and before Terra Rebels compared to where we are now, it feels like everything is actually starting to merge together. Everything everybody's been working on. And I mean, people at Terra Rebels have worked countless amounts of hours, and Vegas, the amount of time you're putting in behind the scenes, working with validators and everything in between that is just amazing. And Matt, can you tell us a little bit? Oh, sorry, Vegas.
I was going to say that for example, Matt and Ed and Zaradar and Marventos and all of these persons, they work a lot. It seems that I'm working a lot because well, part of my job is connecting. But these guys, they work 10 times more than me. If I get tired, I imagine what these guys are feeling. So it's yeah, it feels like it was a long time ago that all of this started, and we went a long way. And mate, all of these people, the Terra Rebels, the community, even the validators, mate, they risk a lot. They worked a lot for this to happen. So yeah, everyone.
I mean, just them keeping the lights on.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry there, Vegas. Yeah. Just keeping the lights on how they have is not cost free. In fact, it can cost around $480 upwards to run a node per month. And some of them, yes, like Orion Money, have been getting really good rewards. But ultimately, it's a limbo situation, and a lot of them are just stuck in a situation where you can get no new stakers or anything. And everything that's in the source code with the approximate dates is just... Matt, can you tell us a little bit about the emotions right now inside Terra Rebels? How do all the developers feel about what's happened currently? Do you feel happy that you've got as far as you have and you've done what you've set out to do, and it's actually looking like it's all going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all extremely happy once we published our own V21 release, of course, but to have the vote of confidence from TFL and to have TFL essentially build another copy of the release in their repo, taking our changes, I mean, it's amazing, and I don't think anybody could have predicted this day. And I know it was part of the provisions in 4159, but I think most people expected that 10-day period to pass and then validators to move forward with the Terra Rebels release. So to have TFL come out and build their release and to openly start talking to us, it's massive. It's a massive change. It's a massive vote of confidence. The development team, of course, are extremely happy to have this vote of confidence from TFL, and also to have access to their developers, because I think, as we've said many times in previous interviews, whilst we are doing our best to gain experience in this code base and to be able to support the code base on behalf of the community, you can't replace that experience that TFL developers who have been there from the start have, as Vegas said. And this is a really key thing now, to have that experience collaborating with us and able to give feedback on our code, to be able to approve our code changes, and now the step that was never ever taken before, to merge our changes into their own repo. So yeah, this is a huge thing, and everybody is... I mean, we're all still in a state of shock. We're all trying to make sense of this within Terra Rebels, just as the rest of the community are trying to react to this situation as well. But we believe it's incredibly positive.
I mean, I myself was actually a disbeliever, and I've had to eat my own words in my videos today, which I've outright stated, because I never would have believed they would come forward after these tweets of saying about conceptual mastery and accepting software upgrades and things like that. I never thought they would want to get involved. And Matt, does this speed things up for you folks over at Terra Rebels? Is this going to help you folks in the future? Will it make things easier for you?
Well, I also have to eat my own words, because if you remember in our last interview, you asked me that question, and I said it was my opinion that TFL wouldn't come out during this 10-day period. So I also have to eat my own words. Yes, absolutely. I mean, we don't know what this means for the future, and we have to be cautious here because this is a very specific thing, V21, and there was a specific text proposal 4159 which gave TFL the opportunity to come in and work with Terror Rebels to merge these changes into their own repo, and this is now what has happened. But we don't know exactly what this means for the future. We don't know how this will play out. Obviously, if we have the opportunity to continue to collaborate with TFL developers into the future, we would love to have that opportunity. But we have to, obviously discussions are going to have to be had, and we'll have to see exactly what this means and what it means for the future development of the blockchain.
Of course, and it's always good, isn't it, not to get too far ahead of yourself with these things and always focus on current events. Now, Vegas, you've always doing so much work, just so much. I'm surprised you have any souls left on your trainers because you're just go all the time like most of us. But can you let us know about this situation with what's beginning with the letter B and ending with the letter E?
Not a lot. We cannot not yet. We still didn't get out exactly what is happening with this of TFL. And we are already entering on a new realm that is Binance. The only thing that I can tell you at this moment is that conversations are being done, and seems that they are now trying to understand what we really want on the burn tax proposal. So I really cannot add a lot of more on top of that, but I cannot be more happy, mate. Yeah, today I said to my wife, I'm not going to do absolutely nothing today, and this morning I start working on that straight away, and then the whole day just went. So things are happening. Yeah. I just karma sometimes. I don't know. I think because we are doing the right things are now starting to complement each other out. People are. It's like rather saying we have someone else. Yeah, that has experience. They saw the code. They said, okay, this is all good, and now we are getting other people interested as well. And one of them is that actor, of course. Yeah. So I cannot say I cannot be more happy, but I know that I can be more happy.
That's totally fine, Vegas. I get it. Just the fact that you've divulged that much to us is enough to know that, and people already know this, that things are always being done. There's never a time when things are quiet, people think it's bad, but there's so much work being done, and there's so much more work to be done. Matt, is this the end of the road for Terror Rebels, or is this just the beginning?
I think we can say it's the end of the beginning, and we have the future path ahead of us, but we don't quite know where that path leads yet.
Yeah, I can add there. It's a lot to do. It's a lot to do. I think this is this is the beginning. Depends on the future of things and whatever. But even if you see the case of today, yeah, they didn't create the codes, yeah. Terra Rebel created the codes, and they basically I'll say this audit the code in codes, of course, and they say, okay, it's all good, and they merge the codes. So in the end, if we want to see things like this happen, yeah, I can say more or less that I think it has to come from the community again, and you have no bigger member of the community than the Terra Rebel. So in terms of the future itself for Terra Rebel, I don't know. I don't know what is the future of Terra Rebel on the chain itself, but I can tell you that is a lot to be done. So Terra Rebel, being a big worker as he is, yeah, if his work to be done, I think they will be there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's looking really positive, and it's only ever got more positive. It's not like we've hit a major milestone and it's been like a huge wall that's in front of us and we've had to do all these crazy things. It's just kind of been move after move after move. Now, there's a lot of people that are actually going around, and it's one of the questions that are in here, and people are asking, why is staking so important, and what will it actually bring back to the chain itself, Matt?
Well, obviously, staking is the process by which people can delegate their LUNACLASSIC coins to one or more validators, and by doing that, they can earn interest on as in staking rewards from doing that. So it's a way to earn yield on your LUNACLASSIC coins. But in addition to that, and much more importantly than that, it gives you the right to vote on governance proposals, and your vote will be counted. Now, obviously, the validators that you've delegated your LUNACLASSIC coins to, they may or may not vote. They will choose how they want to vote, and cast their votes accordingly. But as an individual delegator, you can override their decision with your Luna, and you can vote your amount of delegated Luna a different way to the way the validator voted. So it means you as an individual can vote according to your own conscience on any particular proposal that might come up.
And this sorry, Vegas.
Sorry, Jay. I think is rather said this in better way than I ever can say. But if you just say see the POS, yeah, the type of blockchain that we are, yeah, is a proof of stake. So activating this in my view, it brings the utility back to the chain. It brings the word meme coin far away. You know, that's something that we don't want to associate. Of course, the burning, the tax, all of this, yeah, is the community choice. Is one of my choices as well, because we saw a problem that is the over minting of the coin. But in reality, we needed the utility to come back again to the chain, like Brad said. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, and if I can just add to that, mentioning proof of stake is really important, because for a proof of stake blockchain to function, the community must participate in its governance. That is what it means to be proof of stake. If you can't stake your coins, then how is the chain properly a proof of stake blockchain? So it's such a fundamental activity to that nature of that type of blockchain. Yeah, it has to be reactivated.
So across the board, there's this other mixed feeling. Well, I wouldn't say it's a mixed feeling. It's more of a majority feeling is about Do Kwon, and a lot of people actually believe he minted the coins. And I keep going over this, but people just don't seem to grasp it, the minting process and things like this. Matt, is the minting process getting switched back on at any point?
It's not getting switched back on as part of anything that we're doing in V21. Obviously, if the community decides and we have a suitable solution, then that may happen in the future. But right now, no, the minting process will remain deactivated.
So thank you very much for answering that. Vegas, there's a lot of people asking about if they could see if validators have upgraded yet, and if there's any validators that have actually made the jump yet, because they can upgrade as of when this merge happened, correct?
Yes, they can off record when we were just speaking. I told you that two validators were already running the code. I can say that. I cannot say the names, but yeah. Is a way to see it. Yeah, everyone can just go and see if they are running this or that updates. But at this point, mate, it will make no difference at all. Because, like I said to you in the beginning, they are excited for this to happen. They are excited for changes on the chain. They are excited to get out from this hole that they feel, like you just said before, that costs money. And to be fair, I think you are being very generous on the amount of money that it costs to run the validator itself. So basically, a lot of them are losing money, so they just want to get out of all of this. And without saying names, I spoke with one validator today, and was funny that I just asked him, "Do you remember 3 months ago when we spoke?" And the guy just says, "Yeah, it's working. It's really going to work." Yeah, I say, "Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's the feeling that I'm getting from the validator, that trust from the beginning, that lack of trust from the beginning. They are now understanding that this is the way to go. That we are organized in a way that we are going to make this work." And yeah, they are very excited. Yeah, I think I'll put that they are more excited than you and me. That's it.
Because in effect, they've just all been stuck in limbo, haven't they? They've just not been able to, you can't gain no new stakers. You're stuck with your current delegates, and it's stuck on an
And
old
with a massive
metrics.
responsibility,
Yes.
because if they go, we go. It's like I'm rather know that I'm a big supporter of the validators in general. And I see them with really good eyes, because they were the ones that allow us to make this possible as well. Every part of the process is very important. The devs, the validators, the community, even TFL, everyone was important on the making this possible, and they were the ones just holding this, like, okay, what is going to happen, and they hold it until we are trying to make this possible. And every day seems that is a little more, the tunnel is getting over, like the light is there. Okay, so I can just say in general terms that the guys are happy, and that's it. I'm very happy for them as well.
I'm having to hold back my excitement so much at the moment because I myself, and you folks too, and we've all been affected by this regardless of your position, and we're all emotionally attached in a sense to this because we just want to fix it. We're not here for the fame, we're not here for the glory, we're not here for the money, we're just here to fix it. But new validators coming on board is going to be so important. How important would you say that is, Matt?
Well, I think for the community as a whole, it's extremely important because, in addition to simply staking, the ability for the community to choose to run their own validator nodes and participate in the consensus process of the blockchain means that they have a real stake in the running of the blockchain. And this is, alongside governance, this is the activity that really gives the community as a whole ownership of that blockchain, is their collective ability to choose to spin up new validator nodes and participate in that activity. And I hope, and I think we will see a big influx of new validators when the time comes. And I think that is only a really good thing for the blockchain, for the future health of the blockchain, and it will convince projects to bring their applications, their utility to this blockchain when they see that happening. And that's what, as Vegas said, that is what we need. We need to see this utility come back to the chain to give people a reason to buy LUNACLASSIC coins for a reason other than just to hold them in their bag or to burn them. And when there are projects there that are using that coin as part of their project service, then you really start to get a utility that will cause a real interest in buying pressure in the exchanges for the coin. And I think all of this is kind of like it's a very tight ecosystem, and all of the work parts have to move in alignment together to get to that stage. And we're seeing that alignment really start to form now with today's events.
It's just going to be more and more positive momentum, I believe. Now, previously, going way back to the birthing of the original Luna coin, before there was the birthing of the second coin and the Phoenix blockchain, I think the original cost of a Luna coin back then was around 32 cents, and then it run all the way up to $116, and that was down to how well the system works. And Matt, can you talk a little bit about the fees on?
I was going to interrupt you. I get very nervous when you start talking about price,
No price predictions on this channel, you folks know that.
No,
No
sorry,
chance.
Matt.
No
Sorry,
chance.
sorry, Matt, keep going. Sorry, Matt.
So yeah, I mean, obviously the fees in terms of the gas fee on the blockchain is calculated essentially based on the size of the storage that's used for the block that is being added, the amount of storage that's being used, and also an element of processing power as well that would be used to process that block. But now that we've added the burn tax, there is an element of the fee which is related to the value of the block as well, which is the value of each transaction in the block, which is something unusual because originally there was a stability tax which was removed, and we've essentially repurposed that stability tax to be used as the burn tax. So yeah, the fees are going to the way that fees are calculated is going to change, and that means that applications on the blockchain will have to take that into account. They will have to take into account the fact that the burn tax will be there when they calculate fees for transactions that they are submitting on the blockchain.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And Vegas was getting so nervous. He was like, no price predictions. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No financial advice on this channel.
Never, ever. Can you speak to us a little bit, Vegas, about what roles validators play outside of the voting and stuff like that? Can you talk to us a little bit about how they commit new blocks to the blockchain and more validators on board and then being active? Does this increase the speed of the blockchain, Vegas?
I have no idea, Matt. You're right. Asking that for the wrong person.
Maybe I am.
Yeah, you are. So I can tell you something. More validators that they know what they are doing and they are here for the community is always good. Yeah. In terms of if it's going to speed up the blockchain, I don't think it will, but almost sure that Matt will just say, "What the fuck are you talking?" I'm sorry about the swearing.
That's okay, mate.
But yeah, I don't think we'll. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not going to speed anything. Yeah, it's more validator is not going to solve any problem in terms of the blockchain itself. It's just going to be a little more decentralization and more the utility will be there. Like I know mining and stuff. So for example, in mining, more minings, it puts the network a little more secure. You understand that? So in terms of validators, I think it's just the same thing. So yeah, that's it.
I don't think necessarily the number of validators will impact the speed of blocks being added to the blockchain more than the actual combined processing power of the validators. So the more processing power there is there, the quicker it is that those validators can achieve consensus on a given block. But I think that, I mean, I'm not an expert in this area either, so I'm not sure exactly, but I think there is something in there that regulates to a certain extent the rate at which blocks are generated. So there's kind of like a range of time periods between blocks, but it doesn't vary too much.
Yeah, I think the epoch is always 7 days. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, around that. So
that's right.
Exactly.
7.7.
Yeah, so
exactly.
It's not going to. I don't think it'll. It's the same as mining. I understand a little better because I'm part of the mining community. But it doesn't make things a little more quick or slow. It makes it more secure. And like Matt was saying, mate, this will bring a huge utility because now is the community. Now the community can get involved. Now the community can be the ones policing the network itself. It will make it a little more secure. It'll make the ability of staking, the ability of it brings utility. That's it. That's the thing that we need. Yeah.
It really does. And then, like you've both been saying, this is a community chain, and validators, anybody can become a validator, and anybody can get people to stake with them. And I myself are going to be opening the Let It Burn node, and I know LUNCDAO is definitely going to be doing the same with a burn node on the classic chain. There are a few more people that are going to be starting nodes, and it just goes to show, doesn't it, that this really is a community-led coin, and my node itself is going to be run by a steering group of 100 members. So even my node will be community run and for the community. So it just goes to show, doesn't it, how any community can take this route and actually become part of the chain, and then not have to look at someone like Orbital Command and go, well, I wonder what they're going to vote. You could just have that vote yourself because you've built a node, right?
You can do that, but you can. Sorry, Matt. That's exactly it. Is just bringing the vote to the community. Yeah. At the same time, I'm a big believer of supporting the ones that support us. So people can see, yeah, the validators that were supporting a little more all of this to happen. And everyone can see, yeah. And in my opinion, they can. I'm not going to say to redelegate or delegate for this or that actor, but you can see that some of them they did exactly the right thing, at least to support the community. Not we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know if this is the right thing or not. We believe that it is, but that's it. At the same time, if other people are doing more validators, of course, Matt, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Sorry, Matt, I just interrupt you. Sorry,
no, I was just going to say that, yeah, absolutely. People can, when they have a validator, they can, on behalf of their people delegating to that validator, they can vote that validator's staked Luna. But the delegators also can, as we mentioned before, can choose to vote individually, separately to how their validator votes. So having a validator isn't necessary to be able to vote. Simply staking your Luna with any validator is the activity that unlocks your ability to vote as a community member. But having a validator gives you more of a say in the running of the blockchain, because your validator will have your Luna plus all of the people delegating to your validator's Luna, which means that your validator will have a larger percentage of the voting power than any individual person on their own probably would have. And so it means that if your validator is a community validator and taking voting in line with community wishes, then it means that voting power is more aligned with what the community wants to happen. And as Vegas says, we have a fantastic number of the existing validators who support what we do, who have been extremely helpful to us in terms of their feedback on what we're doing. And as Vegas says, we have to recognize that as a community. We have to continue to support them, because without these validators, the blockchain wouldn't operate. And as Vegas said, they've been operating at a loss, many of them, simply because they believe in the chain, they believe in the community, they believe in what Terra Rebels is trying to achieve, and they feel that it is right to keep the chain running to see what the outcome of that is. And it looks like now we have a very bright future for the Terra Classic blockchain. I see nothing but good from this.
Same here, and kind of just touching on that independent voting system inside validators, we've actually seen this previously with Orion Money, and I think they just allowed them all to vote individually. But
I mean, we can't really comment on what individual validators choose to do or don't do.
No, I think it's common.
All of them, they have their own decision, and we have to respect as well.
Yes,
we can say that this one and that one, if they allow us to do, they did something good for the community. In terms of we thinking that they did something that is not very correct or whatever, Matt, all of them, they have their own decisions. We have to respect what they did. Sometimes it's bigger decisions that we understand. So we cannot comment on that as well. Yeah.
And the only thing I would add is that, as I mentioned in the last interview that we did, how any individual validator or any individual delegator for that matter chooses to vote is their own business, and nobody has the right to push them to vote in a particular way. Otherwise, your democratic governance system ceases to be democratic. And if people choose not to vote on a particular proposal because, in their opinion, it's not something they can agree to vote on, that is an equally valid choice and should be respected. if we're going to operate as a community-driven chain, people have to understand that people will have to make these decisions for their own reasons, and they shouldn't be, there shouldn't be any pressure on people because they have done something or not done something.
I honestly totally back that up as well, because it's kind of common knowledge. You two may not know this. I'm kind of more involved with the media outgoings, but I do know one of the proposals, all of the Orion Money people, they kind of just allowed them to vote independently, which goes to show that even if the validator didn't want to kind of vote on that proposal, they would still allow the internal groupings to go and vote themselves. But we truly are, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion here, this is no one else's opinion, it's solely mine, we have the most potential out of all the projects really on the market, and the way that you folks are positioning us now is going to position us where we want to be in the next bull market. So yeah, it's just...
But just look to the addition that added to the code of proof of stake, yeah, that is basically securing even more the network for only giving 20% of max governance to each validator. That brings another level of security to the network. The burn, of course, on the tax. All of this, we are pioneers bringing this to this chain. So yeah, I really believe that we have something unique, yeah, that is bringing unique and trust to the crypto community. I think we are here, yeah, we arrive to make the community vision a reality, and the community vision is so unique, yeah, that it make something that was proof of stake, that was basically dead, yeah, and now is becoming something that is super unique. It's nothing like that in crypto. So I think the future, no one knows. We don't have a crystal ball, of course, but yeah, it seems very good, to be fair.
It really does. It really, really, really does. And like I said, I really am holding myself back as to not get overexcited and just take a breath sometimes. And it can get overwhelming for some people. And there's going to be a lot of naysayers still, and a lot of people in disbelief. And Matt, can you talk to us a little bit about in the white paper about the fail safe for a malicious actor, so to speak?
Well, I'm not really that familiar with what's been done there, but basically, I think it was identified that immediately when delegation was re-enabled, there would be the possibility for a malicious actor to essentially stake Luna with one or more validators and gain the majority voting power, and obviously they would have to collaborate with one of the existing validators for that to happen. And so what's been done is there's been a change put in to limit the maximum voting power that any one validator can have to 25%.
It's brilliant that we have these fail safes. It really is, and I'm really familiar with the white paper and about the.
It might be 20%. I might be.
We're going to correct.
Yeah. Vegas is sat there like he's wrong. He's wrong.
I don't want to be rude.
Thank you. 20%. Yes.
Yeah, there's so many numbers that float around with everything. I mean, I'm always sat there going 3528, and I'm like, it's 3568, Jay. Jesus. But
I created the thing, and I get wrong, so yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I went through our last interview calling 4159 4195. I realised that when I rewatched the interview, but everybody got what we were talking about. So that's the most important thing. But obviously, this is simply this change that was put in. I personally don't believe that there is a bad actor out there that would try to do this, but this gives everybody more confidence that nothing could be attempted. But it basically buys time. It doesn't prevent an actor with a large amount of Luna from trying to delegate that Luna across more than one validator. But then they would have to have agreements with more than one validator, and
it makes things much more difficult because
makes things more difficult, and it means that we have more time to react if that were, or the community has more time to react if that were seen to be happening, and then the community can choose to counter that activity by delegating Luna to other validators to try and balance out the voting power.
Basically, we have a security that no one else has. So
that is true. Yes.
Yeah. If we are vulnerable, everyone is vulnerable. But mate, if we are vulnerable, everyone else will be much more vulnerable than us. You know, because this security is a game changer, in my opinion.
It really is, and that's something that I've always really, really, really liked, is the fact that security has not been forgotten about. There's not fail-safe. There's fail-safes in place for these kind of things, and the community can respond. And there'll never be any proposals put up where it can just be put up and then it's not voted on. That's just not how the system works. And Terra Station itself is a well-oiled machine, and it seems like someone's been working on it, because as of recent, and I don't know if you two have noticed this, but the transaction volume has been recorded as of the 2nd of this month, and the swapping has been taken down, and the staking returns keep going up to crazy high percentages, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's nice because we can see that everything is being moved on. So yeah, it's a beautiful day, a beautiful week, because we can see that things are happening. Let's just see how things go, and not just put like I said before. In my country, we have the thing of saying, "Don't put the car in front of the horse." But yeah, we can see at this moment that things are happening. So yeah, not don't want to talk a lot about that, but yeah.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that. So just one thing really to touch on here at the end, and this is something that's been floating about. Zardar's made mention of it in his AMA, and the more time that passes, the more I see this being actually really relevant. And it's, how do you feel, Matt? And then we'll get onto you next, Vegas, and see what you think about these community pool burns and the fact that we're going to be burning our own treasury in effect. And can you explain a little bit about the community pool spend proposal situation?
I think obviously the community has decided collectively by voting for the proposal 4080, wasn't it, to burn? Yeah, thank you. Yes, to burn from the community pool, but that vote was taken with the impaired governance system active. So when governance is properly restored, the broader community may or may not have a different view on that, and members of the broader community may wish to, and I'm not advocating that they do or they don't, but I'm just saying they may wish to re-ask that question at some point, because essentially the community pool is there to help the chain grow. It's there when money needs to be spent for something, be it marketing or development work or anything related to the furtherment of the blockchain. That community pool is a treasury there, a source of funds that can be used to support that. Also, when new projects come to the blockchain that might require funding, and the community collectively believe that a particular project is an extremely interesting project that brings a lot of utility to the chain, they might decide to provide some of the funding for that project from the community pool. And if we're constantly burning the community pool, then we're not going to have that funding available to us to make those, to use for those purposes. So I think, this is something that the community, I think, will see as time goes on, that maybe a different decision needs to be made in order to give the chain its best possible future.
I'm 100% in line with Matt here, because even today, 3 minutes before I start talking with you guys, I was speaking with with one new project that I absolutely fall in love with that project. And the dude doesn't have the funds to come on chain. It needs a couple of devs as well. All good. I can see that the community pool at this moment. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. I think he has a couple of millions, 10 or 20 millions on the community pool. If we just burn that, is it's nothing, yeah. And you guys know that I'm fully on board of burning, but I'm fully on board of burning the tax. Everything that comes on more is thumbs up, but I don't think it's going to do that massive difference in terms of bringing the chain up again. So if we can utilize that community pool to bring new utility to the chain, this is my personal view, but I'm fully on board. That's it.
That's my
Sorry,
personal view. I back you both up 100% there, and burning our own pools, just shooting ourselves in the foot in the future.
And just imagine if that community pool, which as Vegas says, burning from that is a relatively, well, really small amount of burn, really. But what if that money was used to bring a new project to the chain that had a 10 or 50 or 100 times the burn capacity through funding that project from the community pool than just burning the money that we use to fund them from the community pool? So that's the other point that community need to think about, is that there are much more efficient ways to burn more Luna than just burning money that's in the community pool.
100%.
Gentlemen, it's always an absolute honor to have you on the channel, especially having you both on at the same time and just having this kind of three-way chat. And it's just great to see that people are willing to step out into this community, and you really don't find this kind of connectiveness or mingling, so to speak, with other communities and the people that are working on it normally. And this is my own opinion, this is totally my sole own opinion, is that any other dev team out there, and I'm not targeting any specifically, just lack that transparency and that community love. So I thank you both. I thank you, Vegas, for everything that you've done and you continue to do, and same with you, Raider and Terra Rebels and everybody out there. Is there any sort of ending things that you just want to get out to your communities, get out to just the broader community, so to speak?
Well, I would like to finish on again thanking the community for their support. Also thanking Terraform Labs for making contact with us, and I believe that we have a lot of exciting things to look forward to in the future.
Thank you so much, Matt. Vegas, is there anything you'd like to just leave on an end note?
You keep doing this to me. You ask me to talk after Matt, and I cannot say nothing better than he says. You know.
I always.
I will say that keep this in mind. I think we should support the ones that support us, and I think everyone can see the cycle here. I think the validators, the projects, the community, all of these they are interconnected. Terra Rebel is interconnected, being part of the community and being part of the devs that are doing this. I think supporting the ones that are supporting us is very important. But yeah,
definitely.
You,
honestly, thank you folks so much for tuning in this evening with us. We hope you got some really good information from all of that, and hopefully more to come. Vegas is always on the channel, and Raider's more than happy to come on when he has the time. So more to come from us three. That's goodbye from me, goodbye from Matt and Vegas. And
see you, mate. Thank you.
We'll catch you folks in the next one.